Looks like we are live. Yep. Morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Karuna. Welcome to Sassy Seer Sheila. Today is Friday, June the 13th, 2025. Yes, it is Friday the 13th. A lot gets made out of Friday the 13th. And, that it's some kind of bad luck day or whatever. I think when I started looking into stuff like that, I think the reason why it was considered a bad luck day had to do with I think it was June the 13th, which was happened to be on a Friday, when a certain pope waylaid most of the Templars and killed them. Now, I could be wrong. I could be remembering that wrong. But if I'm not mistaken, that is part of the story. Um, I think that as long as folks think it's a bad luck day, then oh yes, it definitely will be a bad luck day. Because I think things are all about perspective. As a matter of fact, I just did and I didn't mean for it to be as long as it did, but hey, that's just the way I roll, apparently. I just did put out a video I recorded this morning in regards to my perspective. I mean, I was asked by a couple of viewers to share my thoughts and feelings on some of Jason's work, and so I did do that. And again, it was very interesting to me that I did not share with him that I was going to do that. I was recording it, it was not live. And while I was speaking on him, he private messaged me. See, that's the way telepathy actually is, in my view. So you start thinking and speaking about someone and they can feel it. And I don't know, I just thought I'd share that part. At any rate, this is the morning Mojo energy read and chat. Ah, this is very interesting because I had decided I was going to take a break. This is the last live I'm going to be doing for the weekend. I won't appear probably I won't probably do anything this weekend on the channel. There are some things here in my house that I'd like to really concentrate on, and I've got some integration to work on for myself. And what pops out from this this is the Hero's Journey or Dream Oracle. Build in breaks. The keywords saunter slowly, which I think is very interesting. Uh, Given that, oh, and for some reason I felt to show myself the bottom of the deck. Trip the light fantastic. Dance with the universe. I'm going to take that card too, because that's actually to me very interesting as well, because I was speaking about the fact that everything in creation has endeavored to communicate with me. That's another perspective that I hold, right? I ask questions and I receive answers from myriads of places, not and all arising from within myself. Now, I've been doing this long enough to know that I can also misinterpret that stuff. So I hold everything pretty loosely. If you really want to know what I think about that, take a look at that video. Oh, here we go again. I just spoke on Jason and he just sent me a message. So he's working. Very interesting. At any rate, so from the surrender deck, surrender to receiving support and love, which also is very interesting because as you'll see in that video, if you choose to watch it, that he was sending me a beautiful message about how he felt I was pretty special. And he also wanted me to listen to a particular song that was on the radio when he sent me. It was Tim McGraw's Humble and Kind. I love that. Wow. Okay. So, at any rate, it says allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. Well, that's true, and I'll tell you how I know that's true. Because coming from the wounded, traumatized spot that I have always been in, there's been a couple of instances where I have caught myself, since I'm trying to see everything about myself, trying to be very self-reliant. Don't ask anybody for help. Take care of myself, right? Um, don't want to be a burden on this kind of attitude, right? So, of course, you don't want to take advantage of others, but it is true to allow others kindnesses and assistance. There's a difference between those two. Um, I'm being shown something very specific that happened when my housemate Lisa felt like I was sweeping all of them out of my house. This happened, and I know she'll know what I'm speaking on there when I say that. So we also have from the fairy deck, Spirit Dancer, and I apparently, because this is another one of those instances where I showed myself the bottom of the deck, which doesn't usually happen. But she of the Cruac presented, so we're gonna take that too. So what is being presented here as we lay this all out? Very interesting. So I'm also seeing too that the overall theme here is nurturing. The she of the Cruac is very much the feminine. Today is, to me, the number 13 is a feminine. I've called it before the number of the dark feminine. The dark feminine seems to have a bad rap out there in the world of new age, spirituality, whatever. Um, I have at times called myself a dark worker rather than a light worker. And what the reactions you get when you tell people that kind of thing. I've made it my mission to light up the corners of darkness within me. I want to see what's hiding back there. Let's get to the bottom of the issue, shall we? Oh, I'm sorry. Boy, y'all probably couldn't hear very much of anything I was saying, could you? Oh my. I just heard my sister's voice in my head. Did you pull the mic over? No, I did not. I have a problem remembering that thing because it's not like you like having it in your face. Well, at any rate. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. Oh well, I hope y'all were able to hear a little bit of what I just said. Probably not, but at any rate, we're going to go over the whole reading anyway. So, oh, this one was trying to jump out. Yeah, I'm seeing an overall theme here of self-care. And since that is what I'm moving towards for the weekend, integration, self-care, you know, oh, I know. I was speaking on the dark feminine. That's right. With today being Friday the 13th, I have called the 13, the number 13, the number of the dark feminine, because there's nothing on this planet really is what it seems, what it appears, what we've been told. There's in every single way that I have had presented to me, um, absolutely nothing is what it appears to be. If you are rooted in one specific perspective, then yes, I suppose you could consider that to be that's a foundational piece of truth and that is what it is. But what I have found for myself in all of this is that an awful lot of what we think of as truth has been rooted in a whole bunch of assumptions that this over here is true. And why is it true? Why have we accepted that as to being true? Oh, well, turns out somebody that we trusted to know the truth told us that. Oh, it was somebody who had a whole bunch of education going on. Oh, okay. Does that set who educated that person? Where did that education come from? Was that education true and real? And how did that all come about? And when one starts looking a little, oh, see, here again, I showed myself the bottom of the deck. Very interesting. Okay, so in that, while I was saying that, from the elements, the Alchemy Elementals deck, Fire, Ancestor, Fire, Earth came out. And very interestingly enough, an awful lot of flame. And boy, oh boy, the theme of late for me personally has been flame, hasn't it? As ever since I found Jason Gray's work, have been recording it and feeling into all of that. Not just that, but that in correlation with some things that have taken place for me before I ever found Jason in regards to what consciousness is, what others have termed differing things. This is very interesting. The other thing that came out was water, waterfall, earth. And yesterday, while I was showering, I was called to take my time and really feel into myself, the shower, the earth, everything really. And what came for me was that I was showering with all the elements. All the elements were present for me. Most specifically, the water and earth. And of course, consciousness being the flame. And so here, the only thing that's missing is air, right? Except that I'm a Libra and I was thinking and feeling into it, and that is the air element. So, and I was called to be very present in that moment. So that's very interesting to me. off camera, I before I started this, I was shuffling because this is a brand new deck. And this one came flying out of the deck. I was shuffling it because it's a little harder to shuffle. Um, and it was "You Were Born to Create" came flying out, and I thought, wow, isn't that true of all of us? Right? We've all been born to create. We are creators, and so it wanted to go first. And it is the last card of this actual, isn't it? Let me see if I'm not mistaken. It is the last card. Yep, it's the last card of the deck. They're not numbered. So you were born to create, and you can see that it is a dragon there. And oh, the light that shines there, right? You were blessed with the ability to create with thought, intention, action, and emotion. Be conscious of your power and aware of what your actions and reactions create within and around you. Boy, I could not agree more, which is why I'm very focused upon the way I now speak to myself, the thoughts that I carry as I'm thinking about things, because I know this to be true with all of me. That's just a feeling I have, right? From my perspective, I can look back over my life and see where I have created some situations based on all of what this is saying here. My emotions, my intentions, my thought patterns created some things that, hey, not exactly really did I want to experience. But then again, did I? Right? So I'm going to say this again. You were blessed with the ability to create with thought, intention, action, and emotion. Be conscious of your power and aware of what your actions and reactions create within and around you. Cherish this gift and use it in both a wise and productive manner. Create beauty and inspire a desire within others to do the same. Create a future that both fulfills and delights. Do what you were born to do. Oh my, yes. I love that. And I'm so glad that that one actually wanted to be read first, because if we take that as our foundation for today, which I would like to do, and now who wants to be next here in this field of possibility? I think she of the Crew Act, because honestly, I started speaking to the fact that today is the 13th, right? And how for me, that is a number that has to do with the dark feminine. And which again, for me, means something different than it does, I think, for a lot of others. And that's okay. I'm allowed to have my own perspective about that. Um, it's card number 5. And the 5 for me is all about change, right? And the key words here for She of the Cruac are the receptive principle, nurturing, fertility. This is the great goddess, the many named mother of all, and all goddesses are attributes or aspects of her. Her cup, the Cruac, overflows with bounty for all. She is the yin energy of the universe, nurturing, compassionate, and wise. She gives form and brings into manifestation the will and life force of he of the fiery sword. His is the intention, the action, and hers is the manifest reality. In a sense, she is the Kruak, holding all the worlds within her being. And that is true on a lot of different levels. I feel as though, and of course, too, when you learn that females carry within them, in their ovaries. My grandmother, of course, carried the eggs that would eventually become my mother and me. Because as she carried my mother and my mother's eggs developed, I was there as well. Very interesting. One Oracle group member saw the Kruak as a great bowl, like a scrying tool for seeing past, present, or future potential, but filled with energy instead of water. Within it, he saw a tower with a moon above it, a farmhouse, and many other bits and pieces of our world. He felt that if you dropped something in the water, these things would scatter out to become reality. Archetypes manifesting everywhere. He said, she is the woman who dreams, and her dreams are the worlds and all that is in them. Looking at this card, another Oracle group member notes, what I see here is the energy of being held lovingly in the palm of the hand of the great goddess, followed by a relaxed sigh and release. She of the Kruak is the holder of all of our sorrows and all of our joys. Her Kruak, the miraculous chalice, is the womb of birth and the cauldron of rebirth, the chalice of healing, the container holding the germinating seed. She is the body, the soul shrine that holds the spirit and keeps it from being lost or dissipated in a formless fog. She is pattern and form in the abstract and in the specific. Within her, we take form, grow, achieve fulfillment, and let go of that form to move on to the next phase of being. All of the universe, each individual particle, every being is cherished by her. She of the Kruak may indicate a form of pregnancy, a necessary time of nurturing and development, which is what I was saying about this entire reading. It feels to me, I am feeling called to self-nurture, well, I haven't worn it in quite some time, but I started wearing my rose quartz. And that for me is a stone that helps to, and I didn't even realize I was doing it as to the why, is a stone that helps me focus on self-care. So very interesting that this card come out today. We need to be open to her overflowing grace. She may also indicate a need to allow her nurturing grace to flow through us to others in the form of unconditional love and giving and receiving spiritual healing. She tells us of the need for unconditional receiving, of making the best of what we are offered. She also reminds us that unbounded love and grace is ours, just waiting to be accepted. The presence of this card in a reading radiates comfort and nurturing to the cards around it. which again, part of the reason I feel as though why I was feeling, and Spirit Dancer wants to be read, but not next. Isn't that interesting? I feel called to share the surrender card because I had done that before, but the mic was over there. Surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. And so, how interesting that that come out with this card as well. Like I said, there's a, a, a theme. Like I said, this one from the hero's journey, build in breaks, right? We have a theme that is building here. Card number 15, that's a 6 numerologically, balance, love, harmony. The key phrase here with this card is saunter slowly. And there's a quote here from the artist Sark. Don't power walk, saunter slowly in the sun, eating chocolate, and carry a blanket so you can take a nap. Ooh, I like that idea. Sometimes you don't feel like showing up, and that's okay. And that is, by the way, how I operate this channel for all of my conscious conversations, for every single thing I do. Is if we ain't feeling it, we ain't doing it, because I have spent way too much time in my life doing things that I don't feel drawn to do, and they end up going sideways. And for me personally, that is just an indication that it wasn't meant to be. And so for me, moving forward at every turn, the way I do things is if I'm drawn, I do. If I'm not, I don't. If I wake up and I'm not feeling it, by golly, we ain't doing it. And I reserve that right for myself, and I reserve that right for anyone that ever gets scheduled to come and chat with me. We make an appointment that works for both of us. But hey, if it comes to it and you ain't feeling it for whatever the reason, I don't have a problem rescheduling, because just think about that for a second. If everyone on the planet only did what they felt drawn to do, the difference in the frequency that we would be exposing all of each other to. Think of the time you walk into a store to get something, and the person behind the counter, they don't like their job, they don't want to be there, and it's a horrific experience for everybody concerned. For them, for you, for everybody. Then you walk into a store where somebody loves their job, they want to be there, and it's a good time, but it's had by all. I don't know, for me, there's something in that. And I feel like that's exactly what this speaks to. Sometimes you want to quit, and that's okay. Sometimes you just want to hide your head under the covers, and that's okay too. Resistance is part of the journey. However, where the hero takes a nap, then keeps going, the ordinary person simply gives up. It's not that the hero doesn't ever fantasize about quitting and eating a tub of ice cream and throwing their commitment off a 100-story building. Oh, yeah, they do. But the hero builds in space for resistance without having to burn any bridges, which is why I say it. Oh, okay, thank you. I was just shown how I always used to say I was a customer service manager for a catalog company. And I would tell the employees under my supervision, if you under promise and over deliver, they love you every time. If you promise and you don't show up, you fall short, they will hate you and chase you down the street. Ask me how I know this. Under promise and over deliver for me has always been the key. If you tell somebody up front, this is the way I operate, there's no surprises in the end. That's the only way forward for me, right? And everybody gets to choose how they decide they want to play in the realm of this planet. But that's how I move forward. um, let's see. It's not, oh, I already read that part. The hero takes breaks, paces themselves, and allows resistance to join the epic journey with them because it's coming, whether you want it to or not. Resistance, as challenging as it may be, has a right to be there, but it doesn't have to stop you from moving forward on your hero's journey. That's so true. If you allow yourself to feel all the way through what that resistance is trying to communicate, and you don't resist the resistance, chances are you can allow that resistance to dissipate after a time. At least that's the way it seems to work for me. There's a dream symbol associated with this card, breakup. A breakup in a dream can denote change in a pattern in your life. However, it could also be a rehearsal, helping you process your feelings about how you would handle the end if it did occur. Remember, the best relationships and projects survive many stops and starts along the way to becoming actualized. This dream could indicate the need for space from a destructive pattern in a relationship or job. These dreams can guide you through the process of ending and rebirth. And let's face it, there's a lot of things that are ending and being rebirthed on this planet at this time, in my view, from my perspective. There's a mantra associated with this card. This is a journey, not a sprint. So I build in breaks and reward myself along the way. I like that because honestly, that's about the only way that you can continue going, isn't it? I mean, it is for me. I wouldn't be able to keep going if I didn't allow myself. The next card is from this same deck, the Journey of Love, wants to be read right after that, which I find interesting. It's Trip the Light Fantastic, Dance with the Universe, card number 23, which is again another 5 numerologically, which is for me all about the change. Wait a minute. Oh, that's from this card. That's okay. It's not from that deck. It's from the Hero's Journey. I was like, wait a minute, that's not card 23. Trip the Light Fantastic, Dance with the Universe. And there's a quote here from Khalil Gibran. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Oh, that's very interesting. I was given a message this morning to make sure and put my feet in the earth. So, the message of this card, there's a place within that inherently trusts the subtle and not so subtle nudges the universe sends you. That's true. It's whether or not the ego can recognize that and trust it. And that's what I've been working on for the past 7 years, is getting that ego portion, that personality that calls itself Sheila, to see, sense, and feel that this is okay, to trust these nudges. Allow that place to expand as you feel your body trusting and surrendering to the rhythm of the universe. It knows when to hold firm, when to pause, and when to flow. Allow yourself to feel the universe guiding you in the sensuality of your every move. When you dance with the universe, there's no need to figure out what move will come next. You allow yourself to be pliant yet taut, nimble yet audacious, so that you may delight in your rapturous self-expression. Ooh, I like the idea of all of that. It's not something that we're taught from the time we're little. As a matter of fact, when you, I'm speaking about me here, have had so much abuse and trauma take place in one's life, you tend to try to control everything. And I do mean everything. And with that kind of thing going on, the universe cannot unfold because things don't happen in the planned succession that I think I want. No, it doesn't work that way. The universe has its own timing. And I can't assume that, I can't really assume anything, to be honest with you. There's a dream symbol that goes with this card, dance. Dreams of dance represent sensual, passionate, primal self-expression as you sync up with the rhythm of your soul. This dream may be revealing your synchronicity with your inner masculine and feminine, and thus supporting you to have an even more harmonious, psychic, unified connection with the universe. This dream may be helping you to find your way to the dance floor of your life, so you can let your wild, passionate self be the belle or beau of the ball. The mantra with this card is, I celebrate each twirl, dip, and flip as I dance with the universe in ecstatic jubilation. Yeah, learning, from my perspective, learning to trust the universe, letting go, and letting the flow reveal itself to me has not been easy. It's a tough gig, man. But it is very, very, very rewarding. It's a very rewarding proposition. Card number 63, the light field, also has revealed itself. And in this card, you see there's a figure there just sitting on a rock in the background, way in the background. You are very open to the other side. The veil that separates the worlds is very fine for you, for there is much love in your heart, and love exists beyond all barriers, including those of time distance, and even death. That's very interesting because that's really been on my mind quite a bit, a lot actually. If you wish to communicate with those that have passed on, do so through your heart. If you want to communicate energetically with your beloved, even though you are separated in physical location, you can do so now. That's what I said. In the video that I just put out, that I recorded this morning, I was in the middle of recording that video, and I I spoke Jason's name, and all of a sudden there he was sending me private messages. And to me, that is telepathy. Did he hear me? Would he know that he heard me? Probably not. He was just commenting on a video that he saw that I put up last night, letting me know his thoughts and feelings behind it. And a person could say, oh, well, that's a coincidence. Well, okay, if you believe in coincidence, I'm sure you're probably right. To me, either I knew he on some level of me that was taking place. To me, that's telepathy. I've had too many instances now where it feels like, oh, this is, they must have felt us talking. They had to have because we've had, Lisa and I have had instances where she and I are sitting in the living room and we're chatting about something. And in this case, we wanted something. We were feeling we wanted, I don't know if it was French fries or kombucha or something. We had said that oh no, it was chocolate. It was chocolate. We were sitting in the living room wanting chocolate. And not an hour later, here comes Albert, her husband, in the back door with chocolate for us. Now, did he hear us? Did he feel us? He doesn't know. We don't know, but it sure would appear so. So very interesting. And I submit to you that is what telepathy is, because all we really have to go on is what we've been told. And nobody really knows for sure, in my view, at any rate. Okay, so so if your psychic abilities are opening and you need confirmation or reassurance, accept this message of guidance as being such. Those who have passed can be received fully and peacefully into the light, and your love guide them home. The messages that you sense in your own heart that come from unconditional love that uplift, reassure, can be trusted. The light is so close to you, beloved. It surrounds you as glow from within, which I truly agree with. This oracle brings you guidance that you are connecting with a field of awareness that is real, and that you are protected by light as you do so. It is confirming that there is nothing for you to, hold on, skipped a page, for you to fear, and that those that have passed on or will pass on in the future will always be safely held in love. It is also confirmation that there are very real bonds that connect you to your loved ones, past, present, and future, that are beyond the confines of time and space. I feel with all of me that that's a true statement. When I'm in love, I am not afraid to be any part of me. I let it all be free. for the world to know. And when I'm ready to love, I will create a reflection of who I am, and we will shed our fears, complete our past, and trust love to be our guide. I do feel like I love that. That was very beautiful there. Okay, so I think Spirit Dancer wants to come out now, and then we'll do the Alchemy Elementals and we will be complete. The Spirit Dancer is card number 36, which is a 9 numerologically, and the end of a cycle, which is very interesting. Spirit Dancer, the key words associated with this card are self-expression, freedom, exploration. The Spirit Dancer understands both sides of self-expression. In the first stage, we get our inner vision, feelings, and creative impulse out into the world through our art, whatever it is. Then our expressions are reflected back to us from the mirror of other people's perceptions, and we discover what our art awakens in them. And this is a very important part of this process, in my view. One where a lot of creatives or artists, especially those who are channeling information, it sort of breaks down, right? First and most important for many of us, we learn, grow, and lead more satisfying lives if we have ways of expressing our inner world. Such expressions can be a way of helping ourselves better understand our feelings and experiences. And this is what I mean when I talk about an experiential filter. We all have them, and they are unique to us alone. We are the only beings who have had all of the experiences we've had in the exact succession that we have had them. Other people can have the same experience, but not in the same exact succession as you. And they didn't have the exact information within their fields that you did. And so that's why we are all so very unique, in my view. They can be a way of getting pain out where we can look at it and let it begin to heal. Creative expression is a method of exploring our own truth, bringing it into the light so we can see it more clearly. Whether we actually know we're doing that or not, I feel like we do that at every turn, where we can see it more clearly and maintain sanity. The key words here are explore, experiment, and express. As this fairy cryptically remarked to one oracle reader, the death of Spirit Dancer is perfection. Sound, creative expression is a way of sharing and letting others see more of our true selves. It is a way that we can reach out from this illusion of separation and reaffirm our essential connections with one another. When we share a dance, a painting, a poem with others, we do so with the hope that they will see something of what we have put into it, and that their experience will echo ours in some way. And that's where when I say sometimes it falls apart, because some folks expect it to produce the exact thing for you that it did for them. And when it doesn't, there's a bit of cognitive dissonance, but I like the way this is put here, that it will echo ours in some way. It may not, and that's okay too, because, and that's where actually for me the value is. And why so many of my videos, I say, I'd like to know what this is producing for you. Share with me, because that way I can see things from more than just my own perspective. Because I'm trapped in here behind all this experiential filter that is somewhat distorted from all the years of abuse and trauma and all of that. And if I open myself to your experiences, oh, wow, sometimes I learn so much beauty that I can take into my own experience. But if we have done well, we will be able to add something to their experience. At the same time, we understand that their slant on things is a bit different, and that what they reflect back to us by their response will perhaps contain something we hadn't seen about our own experience, a new insight, a different view, an expansion of our picture of reality. So, this side of creative expression, the sharing part, enriches us in a different way than the actual creation. I have never written a poem or sculpted something without the experience changing me and then changing me again when I shared it with others. This is something I've heard many others say, including many who do not consider themselves real artists or real writers. I think that's a true statement too. Spirit Dancer encourages us to take creative action from our place of personal power, the inner core of true feelings and understanding within us. She wants us to clarify our vision, find the creative potential that lies hidden in paradox, confusion, and chaos, and turn these into a free-flowing, finely balanced, evolving order. She wants to aid us in making our best fantasies real. She also is very enthusiastic about helping us to learn to dance well with the fairies, if we don't already know how. And if we do know how, she would still be delighted to dance with us just for the fun of it. Step out boldly. Now is the time to focus and really concentrate on a project or process, especially one involving the creative arts. That's interesting. I started this whole thing by saying that I was going to be taking some time to integrate and to focus on some projects around the house here. And the big one that I had in mind is our craft/guest room here in our new house that we moved into just recently, because I am missing my art. I do lots of different little arts and crafty kinds of things, and I've been missing that. And not having the space set up or even all the way unpacked, I'm ready for that to happen now. And we will be having some company sometime soon, and I'd like to have that room ready for them. So that's very interesting to me as well. Spontaneity balanced by self-discipline will help us achieve our goals. Strive for elegance and simplicity. This is a time to bring out and share qualities that we have nurtured in private. Well, I think that's good advice. I don't care who you are or what you're doing, to be honest with you. Okay, so the last two cards, these are from the Alchemy Elementals deck. which is, again, a rather new deck for me. And the first one that came out was this fire, ancestor fire, earth, ancestor fire, earth on page 28. And it says, shaman and tribal people grow up with strong connections to their ancestors. It's very interesting given what I've been considering of late in regards to ancestors and things that I was being shown yesterday during my reading of Jason Gray's The Others. I believe that's what it was that I was reading. Might not have been. It might actually have been human. I'm not quite sure. I didn't even know. I think it was Others. The Others. Yeah, it was The Others. Okay. So it's a shame, really, because oh, wait a minute. I'm going to start that over again. Shaman and tribal people grow up with strong connections to their ancestors. Western folks, not so much, which is true, right? It's a shame, really, because the ancestors are wonderful allies who have so much to teach us. The ancestors provide support and encouragement and guidance, and they can make our journeys here on earth so much easier for us. It is time to step closer to your ancestors. Well, isn't that interesting? Because I have been feeling as I was reading that yesterday, I had this feeling that I needed to spend time and call some of those ancestors forward to chat with me about some things that I've been shown in my own contemplations, meditations, not to mention at least one BQH session. So that's very interesting that this specific one comes up here today. It is time to step closer to your ancestors. Take some time to learn about your bloodline, which I already have. Catch yourself up to speed on your family history. Where are your people from? What lessons have you learned from your family? What gifts and talents have you inherited from your bloodline? What is your lineage? What has your lineage sparked in you? What are you ready to burn away? And in truth, this is very interesting because there's some very specific things I've been shown, which has to do with a long time ago, not in this life. And I don't know if it would be connected to the DNA that I'm sure on some level it would have to be, but it has something to do with me. So we'll see what that all presents. But wow, the fact that it presented with this sort of picture with the flame intact here and yet fractured too, right? So this is one flame, but coming out in varying degrees of sideways, if you will. Wow, there's a lot in this for me, especially since that's something that I was feeling into prior to coming and doing this today. Wow. Okay. So the next one was water, waterfall, earth. Water, waterfall, earth. Both of them earth, I would like to add. Isn't that interesting? This one is on page 54. That's another 9. Wow. Okay. There is a time for solitude, just as there is a time to commune with others. Your tribe is calling you to join in their revelry. Now is the time for you to ground into the collective spirit that nourishes the individual spirit. Well, that's 2 very different messages in my view. So, what is it? Which one is it? Your soul is longing to be fed by the company of others and to sink deeply. Okay, thank you. I just got it. It is the company of others, but not others in, it's the others here. It is a collective, but it's others here, not here. Okay, all right. Good, good, good. Thank you for that. Your soul is longing to be fed by the company of others and to sink deeply into the unfolding of love's true bounty. You see, there are many kinds of love. There is love of self and love of spirit, just as there is love of nature and love of beauty. But there is nothing quite like the love that is shared between friends and family. When we spend time with those we cherish, we amplify each other's beings in profound ways. It's not just about you, my love. Your tribe is just as well served by your time with them as you are by theirs. Well, that is a very true statement. And depending on how you hear this and your own personal perspective, right? Because now with this card, I'm also being flashed something else about my own personal family, right? All right. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. So today has been all over the shop, as the case may be. And I hope that you enjoyed this reading, that you found something valuable here for you. I know it's very valuable for me. And until we meet again, my friends, I hope, and I'm putting out the call. I did it in that last reading, or not reading, the video I recorded this morning. I am certain that I am going to continue to integrate what has been happening with Jason Gray's writings. And I have asked in several of those videos when I was recording them for folks to let me know how it was making them feel. And I sort of talked about that in the video that I just put out, but I also held some things back because there's integration that needs to take place within me. There are some things that presented prior to my reading those yesterday and overnight that need to be integrated in here. And I'm putting the call out for those who feel called, who have had some strong experiences with his words. In at least 1 or 2 cases, folks are saying that they even experienced more through my reading of his words, which I am aware of. And I'm putting together a group that is willing to come on camera and have a chat about your experiences. You see, that's part of the reason why I formed Conscious Conversation Central to begin with. When we gather together and have conversations about things that we are moving through. New things come when we expose ourselves to others who have similar and differing experiences. New things reveal themselves to me for sure. And I notice for others as well. And so if you would like to participate in that, reach out to me at consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com. I'm not quite sure when I will do that and or whether or not I might do it live. I use Zoom as the method. So it's not like anybody has to be in my bedroom with me. No, that's not how we do that. We all meet in Zoom and then it gets recorded and shared out and it can be live or it can be just a recording. And so if you are open to doing that, you feel drawn to do that, reach out to me, consciousconversationcentral@gmail.com. And until we meet again, I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. Don't be afraid to move towards something which you are drawn to. Even if it turns out to be not for you, if you're drawn to it, there's something there for you. That's been my feeling behind everything, and it's served me well so far. Until we meet again, my friends, be well. Mwah.